So unfortunately, due to external forces beyond my control, that video that I said I was working on is taking slightly longer than I would like it to. So I've decided to make another short video until it's ready. So without further ado, today we're taking a look at what it takes for you to become a very effective agent of the Imperial Security Bureau. So with that, let's get started. The galaxy is a big and lawless place. The Republic, leaving its territory to rot and fester under the influence of crime, terrorism and warring syndicates, leaving us, the Empire, to clean up its mess in the aftermath of the Clone Wars and, as of more recently, the Galactic Civil War. So this is where we come to you. Do you feel that a military career in the Empire is too difficult, too dangerous and risky, and too much for you to handle? Well, in that case, consider becoming an agent of the Imperial Security Bureau. To be an effective member of this important organisation within the Empire, you need to understand just what it actually is. Well, it's quite simple really. The Imperial Security Bureau, or ISB, is one branch of many under Compnor, with the express purpose of ensuring loyalty to the Emperor from the galactic populace and from those within the Empire's own ranks. The ISB is the shadowy puppet master, working behind the scenes within the Empire, crushing dissent and controlling what information is presented through the HoloNet, meaning anti-imperial propaganda, pieces of works, views and opinions or slanderous insults are not allowed. To enforce these rules, the ISB has legions of officers and agents at its disposal, whom traverse the galaxy to deal with dissent. Officers of the ISB specialise in a litany of skills, which they receive during their training on Coruscant. Each officer is then assigned to a branch which requires the skills they specialise in, these branches being interrogation, re-education, internal affairs, advanced weapons research, special operations, investigation, and surveillance. Interrogation is responsible for extracting and obtaining information from many different life forms across the galaxy to learn about or understand how opposing factions operate, what the conditions of the galaxy are, or putting anti-imperial personnel in their place, so on and so forth. Re-education is responsible for amending anti-imperial sentiment within citizens who would openly express such things, through the efforts of brainwashing and psychological manipulation to reinstate their dedication and allegiance to the Empire. This is the next step after interrogation, before introduction back into galactic society, depending on the severity of their treachery of course. Internal Affairs is responsible for ensuring that those within the Empire's own ranks remain loyal to the Emperor, whether that be military personnel, high-ranking Imperial officials close to the Emperor, or those within the Imperial Senate. Even within the ranks of the military, individuals are still prone to active treachery against the Emperor, and since they are closest to him, should definitely have eyes kept on them. Advanced Weapons Research is responsible for overseeing the construction, innovation and development of top-secret Imperial weapons, ensuring that they are kept hidden from the prying eyes of the Senate or the galactic populace, weapons which could potentially jeopardise the Empire's influence over the galaxy, if they were to be discovered. Special Operations is a division which specialises in many varied operations conducted throughout the Bureau, not really focusing on one specific area, but instead taking on a litany of tasks that require their attention. Investigation is responsible for physically collecting important information and data in order to suppress uprisings and rebellions against the Empire, or to tackle deep-rooted criminal or anti-imperial sentiment across many worlds throughout the galaxy. And finally, Surveillance, which is responsible for tracking information and data through mass observation of the public on almost all worlds within the galaxy to ensure that the populace is behaving. So that is a fairly basic overview of the Imperial Security Bureau and its many branches. But what does it take for you to be an effective agent of the ISB? Well, for one, it requires the right mindset, the right attitude, and most importantly, an unyielding allegiance to the Emperor. So what exactly are the skills and abilities expected of you? Well, There's logical thinking and having a tactical approach to obtaining information. Officials of the ISB are for one smart and clever, knowing when the time is right to apprehend a criminal or important rebel figurehead, for example. Collecting and gathering of information is also a special skill that effective ISB agents should possess. To do this, it's vital to make contacts with those throughout the galactic populace. Those who are more susceptible to ratting out their companions and suspected rebel sympathisers are ideal candidates for obtaining the knowledge and the whereabouts of suspects, so those sleazy aliens in the cantina are always a good start. A willingness to display the might and fearlessness of the Empire. When the chips are down in the end of the day, it's either us or them. So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty when it comes to obtaining information regarding a high-profile target, such as a criminal, rebel, or associate of the Rebel Alliance. You're an ISB agent, which means that stormtroopers will of course follow your commands, depending on the situation. So sometimes a little bit of muscle is needed when extracting information from unwilling suspects. Knowing your way around the galaxy. ISB agents travel, never being in one place, so it's a good idea to know where in the galaxy you are going and where suspected enemies of the Empire could be hiding. The galaxy is a big place, so being vigilant and knowing what each planet holds in terms of challenges, obstacles and potential dangers can prove extremely useful when wanting to be an effective ISB agent. Planets that seem, on the surface, unsuitable for suspects to take refuge could in fact be ideal hiding spots against the Empire, so delve deeper and leave no stone unturned. Being able to efficiently and quietly exert the Empire's will onto suspects. Sometimes individuals just don't do what they're told, so you need to have the mental fortitude, correct attitude and stoicness to make sure that these individuals don't set an example for the rest of the galactic populace. So, re-education is always a path that one can go down, depending on the severity of said suspect's treachery, of course. But in the end, it's your job to make sure that they know exactly what they are messing with. Effectively utilising obtained information and data. In the ISB, propaganda is the name of the game. Your job is to instill fear within the galaxy's populace, to make them understand the dangers of opposing the Empire, should they choose that path. So make the rowdy citizens like public protesters know your role as an ISB agent by setting examples of them through the Empire's military might and strength, or punishment as a result of resisting said military. Understand your targets and have combat training. The galaxy is not without those who would put up a fight. Knowing martial combat and marksmanship with a blaster will save you from cowering behind members of the Stormtrooper Corps. Instead, lead the fight with your agility and understanding of up-close combat, as any heated situation the Empire gets into rarely ever goes off without a fight. But those are some of the skills and abilities that you should probably have if you want to prove an effective agent of the ISB. Not every one of these applies to every branch, but I would recommend picking some for whichever branch you choose and see what sticks. So with that, why not subscribe, like and share this video if you want to show your allegiance to the Emperor. And with that, long live the Empire, and may the Force be with you.